Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kerbal Space Program, and I am Samuel Pedrick. This is episode 4 of the Orbital Construction Series. In this episode, we're going to be going over the launch of the Hephaestus Station, platform for our series. And this launch is a Mun Sat. So I decided I was going to set up a communication relay system between the moon and Kerbal, so that way we can definitely, communicate there, because I have plans in a little bit of this series to do some landing missions on the moon, so that way we can mine some methane, so that way we can produce some rocket parts to send back to our station, so that way we can do some construction. Anyway, as you can see here, this satellite has a minimum of 4 arrays. Actually, I believe it's somewhere in the 7. There you go, 7 arrays. I actually did this video a few weeks ago. I just haven't had the opportunity to do any audio recording on it yet until just now, because I've been very busy at work. But so we're going to set up 2 communication relays around the moon. One satellite dish is going to be pointing at the moon, and a couple other satellite dishes will be pointed at Kerbal, so that way we can stay in constant communication. This tiny little rocket's, just a 1.25 meter satellite inside of a 2.5 meter base, just so that way we have enough fuel to get us to the moon and whatnot. It's essentially just like the ComSats around Kerbal, or around Kerbin, just not as heavy, I guess is the best way to describe it. It doesn't have as much gizmos and gadgets and stuff like that the ComSat has. As you see, we just maintained a stable orbit. As soon as we hit that orbit, we're going to push out towards the moon. And here we are at the moon, getting ready for our lineup. Sorry if it sounds like it's a rough summer here in California. It's very dry and very humid. Alright, so there's our first ComSat. This was a shuttle attempt that I had tried. For some reason, my shuttles will not launch like this. It's upsetting. I have to do a single stage to orbit style ship, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is, but I wanted to actually have like a shuttle launch, and it'll never work out, because as you'll see in a little bit with this shuttle, it likes to toss and turn, and once it hits a certain elevation, there's no control whatsoever from anything. It just, the fuel just, it's, for some reason the tank's way too heavy, and when it decouples those engines, those booster rockets, it makes it so hard to control. And even right now, it's having an issue, because that engine on the actual shuttlecraft is too powerful, and yeah, as you can see, it looks bad. But so I'm going to be not doing a shuttle launch this way until I can figure it out. Hopefully I can figure it out soon. If not, like I said, single stage to orbit looks to be the best way we can do this. Until then, just we're not going to be doing any shuttle launches, unfortunately. It sucks, but that's what we got to do, right? But so my plan with our shuttles is pull the crew off of the Unity station and put the crew onto the Hephaestus Station with it, as well as possibly use a shuttlecraft, whether it be an SSTO or whatnot, as command center to our Messiah-based ship. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but here is a launch of a second satellite going to the moon. If I remember correctly, at least. It's been accorded this, I just haven't had time to do it. But oh, actually, I don't think that this is a comm sat. I think this might be a scan sat for the moon. Yeah. This is a scan sat for the moon. Isn't much. So with that style booster, yep, ScanSat. With that style booster system, I was always using the main engine to help boost up the solid booster rockets, and turns out that it helped out a lot with getting things into orbit. And now we're going to be pushing out towards the moon with this ScanSat. It's got a Kethane scanner, telemetry scanner, just every kind of scanner we're possibly going to need from the ScanSat system. I did just recently download a mod that allows for space telescopes that actually work. It doesn't just look like a camera and everything like that. It actually, you could zoom in on Jewel and its moons and stuff like that, and I thought it was a pretty awesome mod, so I started testing it out, and probably in the next episode I'm going to launch a satellite that has that functionality. At least I hope so, because who knows when that episode will be. But like I said, in this episode our main focus is the Hephaestus Station, which you'll be seeing here shortly. Here comes our scan satellite coming into orbit around the moon. In the next episode I might also do a moon mission. I'm not entirely sure yet. Like I said, time sucks, but assuming I can get it done, I'll do a moon mission, get something landed, hopefully get some Kethane going, so that way you guys can see some of that. I mean, if you've watched Bob Fitch's videos, you know all about Kethane. Same with Scott Manley's. They're some of the best video recording guys I know for Kerbal Space Program. I follow their stuff constantly because it's really good work. But anyway, so orbital construction. My initial plan is that with Unity Station having a test on building in space. I already know it works, but I want to build something for seeing, maybe a ion-powered space probe that I can push towards Jewel or something like that, and if I can get that going, then we'll be good to go. Alright, so here is the first part to the Hephaestus Station. It is a crew module. There are no crew aboard. We're doing all this automatically, just using the communication relays and guidance computers to get this part into orbit. And then after this we've got a connecting section, which will then connect to another PMA and another crew section. That's as far as I've gotten so far. You'll only see the one crew section, the one PMA, and the connecting section go up, because why would you want to see the same launch twice? And more specifically 4 times, because you've got 2 different parts that you'd be seeing twice. But I am designing and texturing a new part that will allow for a closer, like a lower profile version, so that way the Cosmos Pack solar panels, the nice giant large ones, will look gorgeous in their housings, and they won't push a fairing out way past its breaking point. Hopefully I'll have that here done, soonish, so that way I can get it going for you. I'll probably end up working on that a little bit after this is done recording. As you can see, the station has some solar panels that we are aiming towards the sun, so that way the station still has power even though there's no actual solar panels or solar arrays on there yet. So I was looking into how many parts this station's going to have, and you've got the 2 crew stations, the 2 PMAs, the connecting station, and I'm probably going to do 2 connectors with 2 PMAs in between the connector part and the solar panel trusses. So each side's going to have a solar panel truss. You'll see what I mean when I start on that episode next. And then there's going to be a research lab. And here's the launch of the PMA, the first PMA. By the construction pod, and then some storage bins and some material bins, and then a copula, whatever you want to call it, and then the construction part. So I haven't figured out exactly how the construction part's going to look just yet, but hopefully soon it'll look gorgeous. And there's our PMA. As you can see, one side's a 2.5, the other side's a 1.25, and I did that because, to me, some people might not like it, but hey, that's, to each their own. So, and here we go, disengaging from our rocket stage, flipping around. Now, I was using the docking assist for MechJeb because it's an automated setup. I don't want to have to manually do it, and not to mention I can't dock to save my life. So I was using the MechJeb, and I realized that I had to leave the docking window up for it to actually dock. It sucks, but it is what it is, and here we go to dock here shortly. Now, as you can see, there's an RCS fuel tank, the docking node, my communications array pod that allows for you to hide a communication antenna, and then an adapter from a 2.5 to a 1.25, which I think was from the B9 pack, and then from I can't even think what pack that is off the top of my head. I'll look it up. I mean, I'm sure you guys know what it is. If you do, post it in the comments. But there's that part that's identical to the ones that's already on the Hephaestus crew station. And then I've got 2 batteries, another set of RCS thrusters, and a shielded docking node for the PMA, which ended up working out perfectly because it just looks gorgeous, especially when it deploys and docks up. Now, when the connector part docks up, it, for some reason, I don't know what it is. I think it's the gyros. It will not let me turn off SAS or the RCS because something's tweaked. It's trying to maintain its position, and all the RCS thrusters fire, and it is just ridiculous. I mean, I wish there was something more I could do to get it to work, but unfortunately there isn't. Here we are, docked up. RCS thrusters are firing and still firing. Just like I said before, it's acting up. I don't know why. It just is. So here we go into our next launch after we deploy the shielded docking port. And here we go. He's launching from KSC. Now we're in orbit. We're about to deploy. And there we go. So the way the connector piece is designed is it's got 4 docking nodes on each or 2 docking nodes on each side, and then the 2 docking nodes on the top and the bottom. This will allow for the 2 crew stations to connect, and then the construction pod as well as the research pod, and then the solar panel trusses and whatnot. There is a mod, or there was an adaptation to the mod for the Infernal Robotics that allowed for scaling of parts in the game. I have that installed on some of the things that I'm using. I'm probably going to attach it to the base inline side docking node, so that way I can use that for our pod, or for the connector between the solar panel truss and this connector truss that you see right here on screen, and then attach 2 PMAs to the bottom of that, so that way I'm not entirely sure yet. That's still, in the future. I just want to get the solar panel truss designed first. But here we are coming in for a dock. This is it. I believe 8 times speed, because it took a while. No lag, just it took a little while because of positioning and everything like that for it to get to where it needed to be. And here we are coming in. Here we go. About to dock up. And docked. And like I said, RCS thrusters are just continuing to fire. I tried turning off SAS, I tried turning off the RCS, but for some reason the RCS won't turn off. The SAS will, but when I turn that off, things just get all wobbly, and yeah, it's bad. I also installed Deadly Reentry. I haven't shown you guys anything yet with the Deadly Reentry mod enabled. It is pretty spectacular watching things blow up, so I think I'm going to keep it. Here you can see I'm disabling all the RCS ports. If I had known that this was going to happen, I probably would have set them all into an action group to turn them off. I believe in the later parts, I did turn it off. I just am not entirely sure at this particular moment. So also in the next episode, I'm going to show you a new little jump jet craft that I built called the Artemis, which she is a VTOL capable ship using Infernal Robotics and KW rocketry, as well as some modified squad parts. I believe in the later parts, I did turn it off. I just am not entirely sure at this particular moment. So this is pretty much the end of this episode of Kerbal Space Program Orbital Construction. In our next episode, we'll be going over some new parts, as well as a new VTOL craft that I have built. Until then, this is Kerbal Space Program. Stay safe, people.